Hello friends, welcome back to WealthWisdomHub, where we unlock the hidden connections between the global events and new finances. Today, we turn our gaze towards the Red Sea, a strategic waterway embroiled in conflict. But this isn't just a distant news story. Let's unpack how the Red Sea's troubles from rising threats by Houthis can directly impact India's future, and is India getting too involved in the controversy? The Houthis have forced some of the world's biggest shipping and oil companies to suspend transit through one of the world's most important maritime trade routes, which could potentially cause a shock to global economy. Since mid-September, Houthi rebels who control large parts of Yemen have been targeting commercial ships traversing through the lower Red Sea to show their solidarity with Gaza and protest against Israel's offensive in the region. The rebel, backed by Iran, initially used missiles and drones to target ships that were directly linked to Israel. According to United States Central Command, the rebels since mid-November have already targeted 23 commercial ships. They are now targeting ships that have no direct connection to Israel, such as those destined to India. To counter this, India has deployed 10 warships with marine commandos in the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Aden. So let's see, who are these Houthis? Houthis, they are also known as Ansar Allah, the supporters of God. They are an armed group that control most part of Yemen, including the capital Sana'a and most of the western and northern areas close to Saudi Arabia. The Houthis emerged in the 1990s but rose to prominence in 2014 when the group rebelled against Yemen's government, causing it to step down and sparking a crippling humanitarian crisis. The group then spent years with Iran's backing, fighting a military coalition led by Saudi Arabia. The two warring sides have been repeatedly tried to hold peace talks, and the war is more or less at a stalemate right now. But first we'll see why the Red Sea is so important.
At this map, this is the country of Yemen, and the Houthi rebels have taken control of this part of Yemen, which even includes the capital of Yemen. And as you can see, the Houthis are so strategically placed that they can block the access to the Red Sea at the Bab el-Mandeb. This means if they block this part, they can cause a catastrophe in world trade. Why? Because the Red Sea is by far one of the most important trade regions in the world. If you see this map, the Red Sea is like a massive water highway of around 2,000 kilometers which connects Europe and Asia by linking the Mediterranean Sea with the Indian Ocean. And if you pass through the Suez Canal, it is a shortcut from Asia to Europe. But if this region is blocked, then the ships will have to go all the way down to the Cape of Good Hope and then go around Africa to Europe. And this route adds another 8,900 kilometers to the shipping route and 2 more weeks to the shipping time. So the Red Sea is super important because it saves both time and fuel cost. And this critical route has 2 choke points. One is the Suez Canal and the other is the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. And this strait is only 26 kilometers or 16 miles wide at its narrowest point. So it's very easy for someone to disrupt the shipping traffic by blocking this narrow gap of Bab el-Mandeb. And this is such an important region that $1 trillion worth of goods pass through this region every year. 30% of all containers that move around the world pass through this region. And lastly, 7 to 10% of the entire world's oil and 8% of the entire world's liquefied natural gas are shipped through this water highway.
The Red Sea serves as amongst the most densely packed shipping channels globally. Almost $1 trillion value of goods, $1 trillion value of goods, 12% of global trade, and 30% of shipping containers pass through it. Also, 40% of Asia-Europe trade passing through this route. Its centrality to global shipping comes from its proximity to the Suez Canal. The Red Sea lies south of Suez Canal, acting as an essential conduit into the most critical waterway connecting Europe to Asia and Africa. So, we'll also see what is the importance of Suez Canal.
This conflict. For us in India, this route is super critical. This route is like a lifeline to Europe and the West, and it's vital for our energy needs also. Why? Because 20% of our exports or $200 billion worth of exports pass through this pathway.
Because Suez Canal and Red Sea, they are both interconnected. In March 2021, the Suez Canal was blocked for 6 days by the Evergreen, a container ship that had run aground in the canal. A Suez Canal blockade roughly cost 12% of the global trade and was holding up trade value at over $9 billion per day, according to data from Lloyd's list. This is equivalent to 400 million worth of trade per hour or 6.7 million per minute. So you can imagine if this conflict is long drawn like Russia-Europe war, and it goes into months or even years, how much damage it can cause to global economy and also to India. Now we'll see how it is affecting global trade. The Bab al-Mandeb Strait, which led to the Red Sea, saw a dramatic drop of 53% of the shipping traffic. The number of cargo ships and tankers passing through the Suez Canal decreased by 30% and 19% respectively. Concurrently, the shipping activity around the Cape of Good Hope nearly doubled, with a 66% increase in cargo ships and 65% increase in tankers. So, ships are taking longer route, which take more time and increases cost. The spot rate for shipping goods in a 40-foot container from Asia to Northern Europe now tops $4,000, a 173% jump from just before the diversion started in mid-December. The Freightos.com, a cargo booking and payment platform, said Wednesday. So, rates from Asia to North America's East Coast have also risen 55% to $3,900 for a 40 container. So you can see the rates have risen very sharply. And also, due to higher risk, the insurance companies are charging more for the shipping containers, and the shipping costs have gone from 0.2% to 0.5% for ships traveling in the Red Sea and using Suez Canal route. So this all is going to affect the prices for the consumers. How it is impacting India? Earlier, Houthis were attacking only Israeli ships, but now they are attacking any ships passing through the Suez Canal and the Red Sea, so that these countries can exert pressure on Israel to stop the war on Hamas. About 65% of India's crude oil imports in FY 2023, worth $105 billion, likely to pass through the Suez Canal. Approximately 200 billion worth of Indian export, that is 20% of export, travels to Suez Canal annually. Also, EU is India's second largest trade partner, and all the trade going to EU has been affected because of this conflict. Export of items like leather, basmati rice exports have already been affected. So, what is the current situation now? US and UK, they have started attacks on Houthis. They are pounding Houthis with bombs and rockets. Houthis are also not bugging down. They are stepping up the attacks on the ships, and they have also vowed that they will be attacking UK and US targets. They are already attacking their military bases in Saudi Arabia and Yemen. India has also deployed 10 warships to protect shipping vessels. So the fear of war spilling over is getting more and more real. Earlier, the war was confined to Israel and Hamas. Then we saw the conflict escalating because Houthis, they jumped into it, and Iran, they are supporting Saudi Arabia. They are in the other group. Russia, they are supporting Israel. Russia is supporting Iran. And you see that Houthis are not attacking Russian vessels. So this all is now just things are falling into place. Like the world is getting into a two polar world now, just like it happened in First World War and Second World War. So things are getting worse, and if you fear that India, by deploying 10 warships, it may get directly embroiled in the conflict. I don't think it may happen anytime soon, because India is only protecting the shipping vessel, and also India has good relations with Iran also. So Houthis, by diplomacy, I think, and this limited armed interventions, India can protect its interests in the region. So, friends, the Red Sea trouble are far from over, but by staying informed, and understanding the interconnectedness of the world, we can navigate these uncertain waters with wisdom. Hit that like button if you are with me. If you like this video, share this video with anyone concerned about India's future and stay connected for more Wealth Wisdom Hub insights.